Hi, I'm Josh, a co-founder of Woodland Mills, and this is our full-length product video of the HM136MAX Portable Sawmill. In these videos, we like to cover everything from crate weights and dimensions, the way we ship them, we touch on the assembly process, and then we'll head into a full in-depth walk around covering all the features of the sawmill. In front of me here, we have our 10-foot cut ground mount setup. Now this ground mount setup can be extended in 6-foot increments by adding track extensions that are going to come with a clamp assembly as well as the log support and the required bunks to set your cut length to whatever you need to suit your needs. In addition to that, we have a Woodlander trailer series, and we sell that in a 10-foot package or a 16-foot cut package. And that's going to take this assembly or sawmill, get it up to a nice working height, as well as making it mobile so that you can take the sawmill to where the logs are if that suits you best. It also allows you to roll it out of the way for storage in the off season if you require that. We'll start with the crate dimensions. At 87 inches long, 35 inches high, and 38 inches deep, and with a total shipping weight of 1,450 pounds, this crate is going to have to be delivered by a transport truck, and then they use a power tailgate to lower it down to the ground for a curbside delivery. Inside the crate, the product itself is 1,240 pounds, and the assembly process is going to take a full day. Because of the size and weight, you're going to need help either from equipment or some friends and common hand tools to take those parts out of the crate and get it assembled into what you see here. Now we'll go into the in-depth product walk around, and I'm going to start with the track system. We use a 1/4 inch thick, 4 inch wide by 2.5 inch tall L rail, and we take the extra step of machining the top for additional precision. To support this track system, we include 12 leveling feet, and that's going to allow you to quickly get it leveled on the base that you've prepared for your sawmill. When we look at the bunks, we'll see we use 3 inch wide by 6 inch high rectangular tube. The end bunk is powder coated the green, and then as we move in, we'll see our stainless steel bunk cap. And we put the stainless steel cap on here to reduce the friction. It gives us a wear surface, and it also prevents staining of certain woods like oaks. When we get a large log on here and we need to roll it, that friction is going to play an important role. When we look at the combination of the stainless steel bunk and the 3 inch width, we've really reduced the point load on the log and the cant and prevent damage when turning those larger cants and logs. Towards the end of the stainless steel cap, we have a section of key stock that allows you to make your last cuts without having to worry about where your log support is set. We do provide both long and short log supports that you can adjust, and then based on how high you're mounted off your base, you can substitute the short one as you're getting closer to the bunks. Now I want to talk about the log clamps. So we include 2 with the 10-foot setup. These are quick log clamps. They use a cam style action to lock it in place and put pressure on the log or the cant against those log supports. These move along the tube based on your log size. You're going to be able to set them and then quick lock them into place. Now I want to talk about the entire saw head, but I'll start with the lower carriage. So our carriage wheels that interact with the tracks have a radius profile in the groove, and the tracks have a square top. And they're going to make a match set over time to give you the best connection between the rolling wheel and the track surface. To keep those clean, we've got stainless steel wire cleaners, sweepers that run on the wheels while in use to just keep debris from building up or getting in there. The carriage wheels have a dual race bearing, and that carries that stability between the wheel and the track into the saw head to make the most positive connection while rolling along the track. Our laser cut carriage plates sandwich the 4 posts in this design, and they also give us the mounting location for our anti-tip rail hooks, and then you'll see the rails run alongside our tracks to keep the sawhead secured to the track while still allowing it to roll back and forth. Now I'm going to make my way up the carriage assembly. For the 4 posts, we use 2-inch by 4-inch tall heavy gauge rectangular tube, and we've galvanized it as a wear surface. Our rear cross beam is done in 1/4-inch thick plate, and it's been strategically bent. Our upper cross support is done out of 3/8 thick plate, which again laminates those 4 posts. And all these material choices and thicknesses do have a consequence of making this carriage and head assembly weigh 830 pounds, but we thought that was necessary to give you the strength and rigidity you need to tackle these larger logs. Up on the top, we've got lifting hooks for when you need to get the sawhead on and off the tracks. And then at the rear here, I want to show you, we've got 37 inches from the bunk top to the under of our rear cross beam. And in width, we have 46 inches between our posts to give us clearance for those larger logs, as well as the clamps and the log supports. Now that I've talked about the carriage, I want to talk about the sawhead itself. And we pre-assemble the sawhead, which will greatly reduce your assembly time of the mill. The sawhead moves up and down on these carriage posts, and to facilitate a positive connection, we use a constant pressure U-bushing that sandwiches that post but still allows the sawhead to move up and down. They're made out of glass-filled nylon to give you an excellent service life. While I'm here, I'll show you where the manual's kept. We have a manual tube here on the side. The manual is going to give you step-by-step instructions on assembly and maintenance of the sawmill. Next, we'll see our discharge chute for the sawdust. We have a hole here which will allow us to put a bolt to hang a bucket or attach any other dust collection system we'd like. As I come around the front, I want to first talk about our blade guards. So we build them entirely out of metal, and then we side hinge them so when they open up, they're right out of your way. Behind the blade guards, we're going to see our cast iron band wheels. These are 19 inches in diameter. We press fit 2 bearings stacked one on the next, and these are sealed bearings for long life and ease of maintenance. We run a Kevlar corded B-series belt. And then you'll see our tensioning assembly, so we can set the tension in the belt. As we move back, you're going to see the clutch that's mounted on the engine. This is a large diameter commercial style centrifugal clutch, which gives us our gas and go feature when using the sawmill. When the engine starts to rev up, the clutch engages and then starts the blade in motion. As I move back, you'll see the other band wheel matched to the first, and then you'll also see our adjustable blade guide. And this is going to let us set the width of the cut from the maximum width of just over 36 inches. And this is a key feature to our Max series, where our maximum log diameter is matched by our maximum cut width. Above the blade, we have 8.5 inches of clearance to make our largest cut 36 inches wide and 8.5 inches tall. Next, I want to talk about our guide block assembly. So we use a machined aluminum block. We've got a rear support roller bearing to apply pressure to the blade while in use. And then we have above and below hardened steel guide blocks that are set with the stainless steel set screws into the assembly. You'll see we have a log stop here, and that's going to make contact with your log supports before your blade does. Here on the left-hand side guide block, you're going to see an additional nozzle. Now this is part of our auto lube system that's included on this model. The auto lube system includes a 13-liter aluminum tank, and then we have a needle valve that allows us to really fine-tune the flow that flows down to our auto lube valve that's part of our gas and go system. So when you grab the throttle to run the sawmill, the lubricant flow starts and it comes down through a tube and out this nozzle right onto the blade where you need it. For the lubricant, we recommend a soap and water mixture. In the winter months where there's risk of freezing, we're going to recommend windshield washer fluid. And we do have an indicator here to tell you what level you're at as you're filling the tank. Now I want to take you to the user's position and show you the various system components and how they interact. I want to start by touching on that adjustable blade guide again and show you how it's pushed in and out to make those adjustments. It's self-locking, and we use a solid aluminum bar, machine top and bottom, and it rides with stainless steel guide rollers, top and bottom, the lower ones being on a non-concentric shaft. So you can apply pressure and keep this running smooth. Next, I want to talk about our RapidChange blade system. This toolless design allows you to quickly detension the blade for blade changes, and then again, quickly and efficiently retension the blade ready for use. Next, I want to talk about our adjustable push handle. So right now in the ground mount setup, I have it in the vertical position. I can rotate it 180 degrees, and then there is a range of motion within that to really set it up for me as the user where I want it based on my configuration. On top of this, we have our throttle handle, and that again can be positioned anywhere on the push handle that I would like to see it, so it fits my body style and the way I like to use my mill. With the throttle depressed, this is what engages our auto loop system. It revs up the engine. It's going to engage that centrifugal clutch and start the blade in motion. And then when I release it, the same actions happen, but in reverse. So the auto loop's going to turn off, the clutch is going to disengage, and my blade's going to come to a stop. Next, I want to talk about our auto locking sawhead assembly. So this starts with a handle that gets depressed, taking the pin out of the index, counterclockwise to lower the sawhead, and then clockwise to raise it back up. Now as I release this handle, the pin will again index and keep that sawhead where I've placed it for the cut. This handle is attached to an Acme lead screw with a brass drive nut. And because of that, we get very consistent movement of the sawhead with every rotation. It becomes very predictable, and you can count turns once you've matched them up with your saw thicknesses. We only use stainless steel cables to routed around our machine pulleys. These machine pulleys have sealed bearings in them for ease of use, low required maintenance. You'll see our scale indicator and our log scales themselves. So as I'm moving the sawhead up and down, my indicator with the center line is going to line up on the various dashes here on my log scale, taking into account the kerf of the blade or the thickness of the cut, and leaving me with the dimensional lumber indicated on the scale. So we provide 2 log scale magnets. One starts for 4-inch boards and goes down to 1.5-inch boards. And then again, we start at 1.25 inch, we go right down to 3/4 inch boards. And then on the far side here, we have a straight ruler if you're just trying to cut specialty dimensions. We have multiple locations to put your scale indicator. So when you're in a ground mount, we recommend the upper location so that your line of sight to the scale indicator is good. When you raise it up on a trailer, you're going to want to flip this bracket to the lower position, and then these magnets can just get relocated down lower on the bracket to give you your scale indicator in the right spot. Now I'm going to lower the saw head to expose the engine. For the engine, we chose the Honda GX630. This is a V-twin engine with electric start that produces 21 horsepower. When choosing this, we had representatives from Honda North America come right up to our R&D department here. They work with us to make sure that their engine and our sawmill are a match set, both for the workload that needs to be done and the conditions we're asking it to work in. With the electric start, we're going to need a battery. We provide the case and the wiring. It takes a standard U1 battery that you can buy locally to put on the sawmill. And on the left, we have a 12-liter fuel tank that we do provide with a priming bulb in the line. I hope you've enjoyed this video about our HM136MAX Portable Sawmill. For further information, please give us a call or check us out online. This has been Josh from Woodland Mills.